Good afternoon. We'll call to order the City of Murfreesboro Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting for February 28th, 2018. First item on our agenda is a consideration of the minutes from the regular meeting from January 31st, 2018. Those minutes were provided to the board. Are there any changes necessary for those? If not, those will stand as approved, and then we'll move on to new business. Our one variance request today is application Z18002 by Kathy Robles, requesting a 15-foot variance from the City of Murfreesboro zoning ordinance, which requires a minimum front setback of 30 feet for principal structures. This is for property zoned RM16, and this is located at 1303, 1307, and 1311 Old Las Casas Road. If you review that application for us, Mr. Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure to be back with you. I very much like and miss working with this board on a regular basis. However, today I had very short notice that I was going to be here, so I may have to rely on Mr. Roundtree to fill in some of the gaps. The subject property consists of 4 lots that are located at 1303 through 1311 Old Las Casas Road. These lots have frontage on Old Las Casas Road, Hazelwood Street, and Las Casas Pike. The property is zoned RM16, which is multifamily residential, 16 units per acre. The required minimum setbacks for RM16 are 30 feet on the front, 20 feet on the sides, and 25 feet on the rear. The applicant wishes to construct a townhouse development on this property. The proposed development would be built as a more urbanized product with units facing outward to Old Las Casas Road and Hazelwood Street. This is the type of development that is recommended in the Murfreesboro 2035 land use plan for this property. I'm going to pull up the land use plan just to show you. All of the pink area is urban commercial mixed use, so this is a much more urbanized product than maybe what we're used to seeing being constructed over the last few years. The applicant seeks a 15-foot variance from the 30-foot minimum front yard setback requirement on Old Las Casas Road. Rather than showing a 30-foot front setback along Old Las Casas Road, the site plan provided by the applicant shows a 15-foot front setback. So if you look at the monitor in front of you, I'm circling that area where that setback variance is being requested. With regard to the criteria for obtaining a variance, the applicant contends that the shape of the property is both unique when compared to other properties and that it does create a practical difficulty. There's also the matter of having 3 street frontages along this property. Additionally, the applicant is trying to be consistent with the city's adopted land use plan. That's not part of the zoning ordinance. That's a separate document, obviously, but we are trying to start working with applicants as they come in to move them to being closer to what the land use plan envisions for particular areas. With that, I don't have a whole lot else. Clyde Roundtree is here representing the applicant and can talk more about the project, and staff can take a stab at answering any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Roundtree, anything you'd like to add to the application and bail Mr. Anthony out?
Chairman Young, thank you. Board members, my name is Clyde Roundtree, Huddleston Steel Engineering. Yeah, the only thing I would like to add is our client is trying to respect the 235 plan, which is really becoming kind of the obviously the standard for the city. But what that did is it really encouraged frontage of all the units facing the public right of way, and so that's along Old Las Casas as well as Hazelwood Street. And so the challenge we ran into on Old Las Casas is if you're going to have front-facing units, you're going to have rear parking. And so once we started, if you can can you put that site plan back up there, real quick?
There we go.
It's really interesting because the site looks like it has a lot of room, but it really doesn't. In terms of, if you look at where we're asking for the variance request at 15 feet along Old Las Casas, behind that is the parking, and then all of a sudden you have a separation requirement from the parking to the apartments, and all those separation requirements basically go all the way down the line till eventually, if you get to the far west unit, where we're really at a pinch point with the rear setback, and so it's kind of funny because there's a lot of green space behind the units, but as we go ahead and try to respect the whole process, we get into some pinch points way past this variance request area. The other hardship that we're running into is there's a little bit of an out parcel, a triangular piece of property there That's forcing our alignment to really justify the roadway, basically to the right, the driveway. So it's kind of a cum total of kind of the zigzag nature of the site, the out parcel that's not under our ownership, the desire of the city 2035 plan, making sure everything fronts your main right-of-ways, public right-of-ways, that we've come up with this. So that 15 feet, if we don't have it, it literally just puts pressure all the way down the line. So with that in mind, that's kind of the justification for it. We're excited for any feedback we can get. We've been working with Marina primarily on this particular thing. So Donald, thank you for filling in. But I am available for any questions you may have.
Clyde, correct me if I'm wrong, but the I don't know if they're apartments or if they're townhomes, but that face Old Las Casas that are adjacent to Stratford Hall. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I just have them in my request. They're called like 3586 Center Point.
Yeah.
Townhomes. They have the same kind of setback.
That's what I was going to say.
Character.
Yeah, those are closer to the road.
They are. They're a few blocks up on the right.
Right.
Where we're located. So there's precedent along Old Las Casas, but I think as new development comes, I think what we're doing, with that apartment on the right and us on the left, it's going to basically kind of create that more of a streetscape corridors. Really,
Right.
the city's looking for with more street planting, sidewalks, the homes addressing Old Las Casas. So
That project's got a really good look from the road.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And you're saying that that's a similar 15-foot set?
Yeah. Well, I think from the road, the front doors are very close to the road. Let's put it that way. But I wasn't sure exactly what the setback was.
The units that are going to be oriented to the street are just the ones, these last 6 units, or the ones along Hazelwood Drive be
All the
oriented
ones
that-
along Hazelwood are addressing Davis as well.
But didn't require the setback. Okay.
We didn't require a reduced setback on that side.
That product down the street does appear to be somewhere around a 15 or 17 foot
Okay.
setback. That's the one that I have pulled up on the monitor
I'm
right
with
now.
you.
Anything further from Mr. Roundtree? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll conduct a public hearing. If anyone is here present wishing to speak for or against this application, if you'd come forward and state your name and address, you can provide us any comments you may have. Seeing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed and open the floor for any further discussion or a motion.
If there's no discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve the application, subject to all staff comments.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. That application's been approved. Thank you. Next item is staff reports and any other business.
I have nothing.
I have none. All right, then we will stand adjourned. Appreciate everyone's time.